Hi YouTube, Night Ninja here. Hope you're all well. Today I'm going to be showing you part 2 to the Flame Swordsman deck profile, where I'll show you the combos I like to play and I'll explain a little bit of why I like to play them. The main focus for this deck is to get Ultimate Flame Swordsman out, and to be fair, with this deck it's quite easy to get him out. It's not too difficult. As I showed you in the first video, I like to run 3 of them because you can get through them quite quick. So we'll talk about that strategy, and then I have got another strategy based around red eyes, which we'll talk about in a bit. So ideally, you want to get Fighting Flame Swordsman out on the field as early as you can. As soon as he's summoned, whether that be normal or special, you can add one spell track card that mentions Flame Swordsman from your deck to your hand. And if I haven't already got it, I like to go for Flame Swords Realm, or I'll go Salamander Fusion. Both cards allowing you to fusion quite quickly. Now the second effect here, I'll speak more about that in a second. The second effect is that you can send one Flame Swords. So if this card sent to the graveyard, sorry, you can send one Flame Swordsman and one monster that mentions it from your deck or extra to the graveyard. And what I would do is I'd have him out and then fusion with him. So let's say I got my Flame Swords round to continue spell card. So when this is activated on the field, opponent can't use counter effects when you normal summon fire warrior monsters, which there's quite a few in this deck. Then once per turn, you can send one monster from your hand or face up field to the graveyard to special summon one Flame Swordsman monster. So what I'd do is I'd send that to the graveyard, fusion summon into Ultimate Flame Swordsman, and then because that's gone to the graveyard, I'd then send Salamander the Flying Flame Dragon, because when he gets sent to the graveyard, so we'll talk about his first effect first. So while this card's equipped with Flame Swordsman, a monster that mentions it, the equipped monster gains 700 attack. So then once per turn, when this card is sent from the hand, is in the hand or in the graveyard, I can target one warrior monster and equip it to it. So I'd instantly equip it to Flame Swordsman, and then he's already up to 3,500 attack. And then, but because he was also sent to the graveyard, you can add a Salamander card from your deck to your hand. So I'd either go Salamander Fusion or Salamander Chain, both good cards. So Salamander Fusion, you equip it to a fire monster and it gains 700 attack. And if that monster would be destroyed by a battle card effect, you can destroy this card instead. So like while this is equipped to a fusion monster, which I would do, I'd say, because that's been sent, I'd get this to hand if I didn't already have it. Equip this to that, and I'd equip this to it. So whilst it's equipped to my fusion monster, I can send this and the fusion monster to the graveyard if I wanted to special summon another Flame Swordsman or fusion monster that mentions it. Now, it's not an effect I'd use often if it's already equipped to him, but if it's equipped to something else which I'll talk to a bit, I'd bring somebody else out. Or the other one is Salamander Chain, which I'd set and then activate on my opponent's turn. And what it does is I can target one fire monster in the field and I can equip this card to it, and I'll give it 700 attack again. So already it would be on 4200 attack. And then I can target an effect monster and on either side of the field and put it face down defense position. So I choose one of my opponents. And then if this card's in the graveyard, I can banish it to fusion summon. Sorry, no, I can banish this card to fusion from my graveyard to fusion summon Fire Warrior Dragon monster, fusion monster from my extra deck by shuffling the materials from my graveyard or field into my deck. But then I'd have to destroy it in the end phase. So that's like more of a card that is mainly used for the power bump. Same with this one, because if you got those three on alone, that's an extra 2100 attack. So he's on 4900 attack, and that could be quite hard to get around. And what's great with this is that he's got a quick effect if he's equipped with equip card, which is you can target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it. And if you do, you inflict 500 damage to your opponent, which is quite handy because then you're burning your opponent whilst getting rid of a card that may be a bit of a nuisance. And then its last effect is quite handy, where you can double its attack to the end phase. But if I do, I have to destroy it at the end phase. You can only use both effects each turn, but if you've managed to somehow get rid of what's on your opponent's side of the board, you could double his attack if he's got this on it, and then that's game. So it's quite a handy little combo to have. Now another couple cards I like to run for is got a blue flame swordsman, mainly because I can decrease his attack to raise my other monsters if I need to. But when this is destroyed by opponent's card and sent to graveyard, I can banish it to target one fire warrior monster to my graveyard to special summon it. So I could have him out and I can banish that, get him back thanks to his effect, and then I can start the combo over again. Another card that's quite handy is Mirage Swordsman. It's on 2800 attack, 2000 defense. But if a face-up fire fusion monster that I control is destroyed by battle or card effect, I can special summon this card from the graveyard or from my hand, depending where it is. Then at the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, I can destroy both that monster and this card. Then if this card is destroyed by battle or another monster's effect, I can special summon one level 7 or lower monster as Flame Swordsman mentions it for my deck crasher deck. So it's just another way to get back to my Fighting Flame Swordsman or my Ultimate Flame Swordsman. The idea is just keep recycling so I can get back to him if he's gone. And then, so that's quite a handy little effect to have. And then we've got some more cards that I like to play. So I've got my Fighting Flame Swordsman. Now, depending on how the duels go in, if it's right at the start of the duel and I don't have any of the cards that I need to get things going, I'll use the first effect to add one card that mentioned Flame Swordsman from my deck to my hand. But then if it's a little bit further along in the duel, then I normally go for the last effect where my opponent activates card or effect, I can negate it. And the middle effect's quite handy as well when an attack is declared involving the fire one monster that I control. I can target one card in the field and destroy it. But I quite like having that negate there just in case I need it. And then I liked running Phoenix Gearblade because I can equip it to fire warrior monster. So I say we just went with Ultimate Flame Swordsman. And then if I attack with him, I can send this card to graveyard and all my monsters can make a second attack this turn. So if I've got enough monsters out there that can do the damage to take my opponent's monsters down, I can then have a second attack to chip away the life points and hopefully end the duel there. Then there's two more cards based around, well, three more based around this little strategy that I like to use. Got Flame Sword's Dance. So if a monster is special summoned, I can special summon one level 7 or lower fusion monster from the extra deck. That is Flame Swordsman and mentions that. And I can change one face-up monster in the field to face down defense position. And then during my opponent's battle phase, I can banish this card from the graveyard. And I contribute one face-down defense position monster. And then special summon Flame Swordsman or monster that mentions it from the extra deck. So it's really handy. You activate it. So special summon out, let's say we special summon out this time Fighting Flame Dragon. Then I got one card opponent's side face down. Battle phase comes, I banish it, destroy that card to get, say we bring out a second copy of Ultimate Flame Swordsman. And that plays in nicely with Fighting Flame Dragon. Because except during the damage step, I can activate the quick effect where I can target one warrior fusion monster that I control and I can equip this card to it, and that's whether it's from here or the graveyard. I can activate the effect. So I'll equip it to my Ultimate Flame Swordsman, and then while it's equipped, it gets an extra 700 attack and it can make a second attack during each battle phase. So again, it's just another really nice combo to dish out some more damage. And then I do run a Kunai Chain just because it's a classic card from the series and It's quite strong in the sense that I can stop my opponent from attacking, as well as make one of my monsters stronger. And then obviously I got one reinforcement in the army, just so I can get my fighting flame swordsman quicker, so I can start my combo. The quicker I get into him, the quicker I can finish a duel, as long as I get the rest of the setup right. And I have got Reynard that I like to play. And what's handy is, let's say I had Blue Flame Swordsman out, I can special summon him and he becomes a tuner. But then because he's been special summoned, I don't have to, I can still make another normal summon, so I could go into, where's he gone? Fighting Flame Swordsman if I wanted to. But then what I'll do there, because then he becomes a tuner, and then because he's been special summoned, I can target one fire, one monster, or one equip spell that is banished from my graveyard, and I can add it to my hand. So whether that be Fighting Flame Swordsman, or we could have Salamander might be, in the graveyard, or my gear. Can't find it now. Where's that gone? Or my Phoenix gear blade. It's just a nice little ability. And then what I'd do, I'd use them two to sync into Infernal Knight Captain Oliver. And then what I like is that when he declares an attack, while he's got a card equipped to him, so again I could equip, say, Phoenix gear blade, I can target one face up card on the field and destroy it. So another nice way to get rid of my opponent's cards. And during the main phase, except for the turn it was sent to the graveyard, I can target one more monster I control, special summon this card from the graveyard as a tuner, and if I do, I can equip that monster to it. So it could be, he could be on the field, he's in the graveyard, so I can do that. And then because he's a tuner, I can then go into my Infernal Knight Emperor Charles, who, when he's, so like, what's strong with him is that when an equipped card becomes equipped to a monster on the field, even during the damage step, I can destroy one card on the field. Then during the end phase, I can equip one spell from my hand or graveyard to this card, and I can equip one fire warrior monster from my deck to this card. Equip spell, it gives it 500. So it's just a nice way to, so I say we got them, that's 3800 attack. And each time something gets equipped, I can destroy a card on the field, like once per turn. So it's just a nice little combo to run. So they're the main combos that I run for my Fighting Flame Swordsman, well, for the Swordsman deck part of it. But then for the Red Eyes, I try and get Red Eyes Metal Flare Dragon out if I can, because I'm running two Red Eyes Black Dragons. I've got two of the Blackstone of Legend. Can't see where I've put the other one. Oh, sorry, there it is. And what's nice about this is that I contribute it to special summon Red Eyes from my deck, and then if Red Eye summons up in the graveyard and they're there together, I can send that to my deck and then add that back to my hand and start the chain again. You can only use each effect once per turn, but it's quite handy if you can get the two of them, because activate them on separate turns, get them both out, and then you can overlay into Black Ice Flare Metal Dragon, and then from there, whenever an effect is activated, whether that be by me or my opponent, they're going to take 500 damage each time. So it's a nice little burn to have out there. Now another way to try and get him out is I got Red Ice Spirit, so I can target one Red Ice monster, my Red Special Summoner. And I've also got Return of the Red Ice, so as long as I control a Red Ice monster, I can target a normal monster in the graveyard to special summon it back. And if this card is destroyed by my opponent's card sent to graveyard, I can target Red Ice monsters in the graveyard and I can special summon it. And I have got one Red Ice Soul, and he's just there because he becomes a Red Ice Black Dragon. He's the same level, so I can get a Red Ice Flare out with them too if I needed to. But so if my opponent special summons a monster, I can send this from my hand of field to the graveyard to special summon Red Eyes from my hand or deck, which is quite a handy combo, especially when I've got Return of Red Eyes or Red Eye Spirit like this. I can just activate it to get it back out, and because he's got 2000 defense, he doesn't do too bad defense wise either. And then I have got one Infernal Fire Blast because I can chip away again, taking 2400 damage off my opponent's life points, but obviously you can't attack the turn you activate it. And another handy thing about him is when he's out there, I can inflict damage based on his attack once per turn as well. So again, it's just an extra way to get my opponent's life points down a bit quicker. And this is a bit of a specific combo that I only use if it appears. So I've got two Dagora and the Mad Flame Kaijus, and they're purely in my deck so that if my opponent's got a card out I want to get rid of monster now, I can tribute it and then they get control of that. And if I'm lucky enough to have both in my hand, I can then special summon mine. They're equal in attack, but at this point I would hope to have some of my monsters out with, and they'd be equipped with other cards to boost it up to be higher than that. Then also if I did that and then the next turn I did it again, held on to it, that's 2 turns where I've gotten rid of a monster that potentially could be a problem for me. So that's why I like to run them too. And then I've got one draw unlock just to stop my opponent adding more cards that turn if I can help it. So like that's handy if you've got that to begin with and your opponent goes first. And if they've got combo go in where they're drawing cards, activate that and they can't add any more cards. Which is quite handy. And then obviously we got our defensive cards. We got Ice Barrier just so I can get another body on my side of the field. I have to mention Barrier that I like to use if I know my opponent's playing a specific strategy, just to disrupt them for a turn. And obviously we got Ice Barrier just to make my opponent weaker so I can take a monster out. Compulsory just to clear their board a bit. Trap Hole because it's just a classic and it's pretty simple. And obviously Gravediggers is handy because if they're using an effect from their hand or the graveyard or even their banished zone, then I can negate it and inflict 2000 damage to the life points, which is quite a lot of damage. So yeah, so that's the combos for this deck. Like I said, if I can get the combo going, I get him out early and I start equipping cards to him, I got the right card, I can end the duel quite quickly. I had one duel I managed by my 3rd turn to have 3 of them out. I think I was quite lucky because my opponent didn't have much they could do in their hand or on the field, but it ended the duel quite quick, and that's what this deck's quite good at. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, give us a thumbs up, and yeah, I hope to see you all soon. Take care.